Russia has completed preparations for an attack on the Zaporizhzhya Nuclear Power Plant. The chief of the Main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, Kyrylo Budanov, said in an interview to the statement. The Russian occupants booby-trapped a cooling pond and moved vehicles laden with explosives to 4 of the 6 power units at the nuclear power plant. The situation has never been as serious as it is now, the Ukrainian intelligence chief stressed.
If they have an intention to do such terrible thing and blow up what they have mined, they can do a lot of harm from inside the plant. If the Russians have such intentions, and they have shown it before by blowing up the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant, that they have intentions to create environmental damage, I think their goal is simply to create a detectable radiation output. The second scenario that I think they could implement is to contaminate the plant with radioactivity, so that it cannot be launched for some time after the occupation, so that it cannot work.
Moscow may stage an attack on the Zaporizhzhya nuclear power plant due to the defeat of Russian occupation troops on the left bank of the Dnieper River, Kyrylo Budanov has said. But the Kremlin may also act preemptively to hold the counteroffensive by the Ukrainian armed forces and freeze the front line.
So they plan to stop out troops in the Zaporizhzhia direction. If there is a disaster, if there is radioactive contamination, it is clear that it will not be possible to be there for some time.
The experts of the Institute of the Study of War said that the Russian commander's calculations may not be justified. In their opinion, the explosion at the ZNPP could potentially cause more damage to Russian forces on the southern brink of the Kakhovka reservoir than to the Ukrainian army. Another large-scale terrorist attack that Russia could carry out to hold the advance of the Ukrainian armed forces is the bombing of the chemical plant Crimean Titan in Armyansk. 3 main scenarios are being studied by the Main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine. Andriy Yusov, a spokesman of the Main Directorate of Intelligence, said on the air at the all-Ukrainian telethon. These could be demonstrative blackmail, disabling the enterprise in case Russian troops flee, and a full-scale terrorist attack.
We can imagine that after the Crimean water canal was shut down a couple of years later, there was a drought in the northern Crimea, and a situation where wind blew dried up lakes where there were storage facilities. They could do something like that. Again, it had to be registered. There was a picture. The consequences are unpredictable, because these clouds may reach Jankoy and possibly Sevastopol, but the Russian fleet units are still stationed there.
Russian occupants have already tested a warning system in case of an accident at the plant, the attached guerrilla movement has said. The blowing up of the Crimean Titan plant could lead to a disaster equal to the consequences of the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant, experts say. But neither blackmail nor Russian terror will stop Ukrainian armed forces' counteroffensive, the Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine said.
But keep in mind that this cannot stop us from freeing our Ukraine from these terrorists. We will definitely liberate our country, including Crimea. Now there will be such decisive month or 2 or 3, which will put many full stops in the end of many processes. Oleksiy Danilo, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, on the air of all Ukrainian telethon.
Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.